Nada Prouty's identity was once a closely held national secret. She was an FBI agent, then a CIA officer with top security clearances who penetrated terrorist organizations overseas. Her fellow CIA officers say she risked her life often, volunteering for dangerous missions. And because she's originally from Lebanon, she speaks native Arabic, a rare skill for an American intelligence officer. But Nada Prouty's daring career was destroyed. In those years after 9/11, when rooting out terrorists at home was an obsession at the Department of Justice, federal prosecutors launched investigations, and even Nada Prouty was accused of supporting terrorism. Was a traitor exposed, or did America lose a patriot? This past March, Nada Prouty stepped out of the shadows to tell her story for the first time.
I love the country. I believe in the country. I believe in everything that this country stands for.
This is dangerous work.
Yes, but I embraced the mission. The mission became my family. The mission became my life, and I would have given anything to protect the mission.
Nada Prouty's missions for the FBI and CIA read like a history of America's fight against terrorism. She investigated the bombing of the USS Cole, the attack on Americans at Khobar Towers in Saudi Arabia, and in Pakistan, she interrogated a terrorist who killed 20 people on a Pan Am plane and got him to confess.
Nothing prepares you to meet a terrorist, a real-life terrorist, someone who's killed Americans, someone who's vowed to always kill Americans.
What's happened to him now?
He's in a jail in Colorado where he gets to see daylight 1 hour a day.
And you're happy about that?
Yes, I'm happy. It brought justice. This is what we're about. We're about bringing justice to the families of the victims.
Pursuing justice for the FBI led her to much more dangerous missions at the CIA. She worked in Iraq during the most violent period of the insurgency. Armed with an assault rifle, she went on raids with U.S. Special Forces. She interrogated suspected terrorists, and she was part of the team that developed the intelligence on the whereabouts of Saddam Hussein. Her CIA boss at the time said, quote, "Many officers in the CIA were unwilling to serve in this deteriorating, high-risk, and thankless environment. Mrs. Prouty did not waver." While in Iraq, Prouty's bulletproof vest had to be altered for an extraordinary reason.
You were pregnant?
Yes, sir.
At the time?
Correct.
People watching this interview right now are asking themselves, why would she do that?
Yes, and I ask myself now, looking at my child, how could I put her life in danger? But that's what I wanted to do. I couldn't look at our Marines that are standing outside guarding us and tell them, hey, I'm pregnant, I'm shipping out. I knew what my contributions were, and I wanted to protect the lives of our soldiers.
Nada Prouty was born into war, growing up amid the conflict in her native Lebanon. At age 19, she came to the U.S. to get a degree in accounting.
Those were good days.
And years later, while studying for a master's, one of her teachers suggested she apply to the FBI. Prouty had to wait 2 years while the FBI ran a background investigation. She was cleared in 1999 and became a rising star. After 2 more background investigations, she got one of the nation's highest security clearances, and in 2003, she joined the CIA.
She was absolutely dogged. She would never quit.
Bob Grenier met Prouty when he was CIA station chief in Islamabad, Pakistan. He retired in 2006 as a 27-year veteran who headed the CIA's Counterterrorism Center.
She was involved in virtually all the high-profile terrorism cases during those years.
And became one of this country's most experienced officers in doing all of those cases.
Young as she was, and as few years as she actually had in service, she was tremendously experienced.
She saved American lives?
I think that's fair to say.
But while Nada Prouty was hunting terrorists overseas, an investigation began back home that would destroy her career. The Bush administration was working to break up terrorist financing, and by 2004, federal prosecutors in Detroit were looking at the large Arab American population around Dearborn, Michigan. Suspicion fell on a Lebanese American restaurant owner named Talal Shaheen, and as it happened, Shaheen was married to Nada Prouty's sister. In 2005, FBI agents came to CIA headquarters to ask Prouty a few questions.
They showed me a picture of my brother-in-law with a spiritual leader. At that time, I didn't know who he was, but with a spiritual leader from Hezbollah.
Hezbollah is the Lebanese group backed by Iran and on the U.S. terrorism list. Prouty says she had little to do with Shaheen. She thought he was a womanizer cheating on her sister. But because of the family ties, Prouty was under suspicion.
What began to happen? Your relationships with your colleagues, your relationships in the agency?
Everybody scattered away. I thought that you would think that I had the plague. Nobody wanted to have anything to do with me.
That went on more than a year until finally, in frustration, she went to Detroit to try to clear things up with the prosecutors.
It wasn't until I sat face to face, until that was the time that I knew what I was being accused of.
And they said what?
They said that I have viewed some documents in the FBI ACS system without authorization.
The FBI computer system?
Correct.
What documents did they say that you had looked at?
They insinuated that it was documents relating to Hezbollah investigations.
She says the prosecutors told her that the evidence against her was secret and that she couldn't see the documents in question, but they implied that she had passed classified information.